Good evening class. In previous video, we have studied so many things about the reproductive health of your class 12th. So in reproductive health, we have discussed like what is the meaning of reproductive health and which type of role does that play in the human beings, whether it is male and females. And reproductive health is generally considered by WHO. Okay, the well and total being fit, that refers to as reproductive health. Now we have also discussed the RCH program, reproductive child health program, which is generally runs by the different types of government institutions of India. But today we will study the most important part, and that is population explosion. Firstly, I want to tell you that what is the meaning of population explosion. We know that population of explosion is a term generally related from the explosion means we know that something burst out and something creating more than number. Okay, so before 1920 we have seen that there was a very less population during the World War II, and after that the population of our India and world also is increasing day by day. So that leads to rapid change in population is called population explosion. Population explosion means the increase of number of human beings, whether it is male, female, child, girls, and many more, and this leads to the explosion term that is called population explosion. Population explosion का मतलब होता है कि बहुत ही कम समय में कम इंटरवल में पॉपुलेशन जो है इंक्रीज हो गया, जिसे हम पॉपुलेशन एक्सप्लोजन के नाम से जानते हैं. सो हियर आई हैव मेंशन सम इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स. सो वी हैव टू डिस्कस फर्स्ट, that is the constant decrease in death rate. It means the death rate and birth rate we know very well. What is the meaning of birth rate generally? If the human beings are generally growing up and taking a birth, that is called birth rate. And death means people, it is a natural process in which the human beings are generally going to die, and last stage is called death rate. So after the 1920, the constant decrease in death rate means after the 1920 Second World War, the constant decrease death rate leads to number of more birth is comparatively higher than the death rate. इसका मतलब जो डेथ रेट था हमारा वो कम होने लगा, जो बर्थ रेट था वो बढ़ने लगा. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, due to some major steps, I will tell you that which type of major step it is done. Rapid decrease in MMR. MMR is refers to maternal mother, okay, reproductive system, and second is rapid decrease in IMR, infant mother reproductive systems. Okay, both the sections I will tell you in further video. So due to the decrease and rapid changes in both the sections, the population explosion is almost high. So there is a certain decisions which is taken by the government to control that type of pollution. And what was that? The planning is that methods to control population explosion. Several institutions, several NGOs, and several society has taken the beneficial step for the human. In most of the times, you will heard that "hum do hamare do." It means promote smaller families. It means the family should have only two children, whether it is male and female also, and mother and father own self. It means they have only four members. Okay, next points we have to discuss that promote use of contraceptive, because in previous generally most of the villagers and most of the human beings are totally unaware about the reproduction, and they do reproduction for their pleasure also, but after that the result is that their child is also growing and birth is also increased day by day, and death rate is decreasing. So the population is increased due to that process also. So here in our society, in our day-to-day life, we generally know different types of contraceptive methods are generally using for decreasing the population explosion, and you already heard that and familiar with some of the items also. I will tell you in that method. Okay, next, raise voice against teen marriage. If you heard that there is a one district of Rajasthan, there is a generally males and females are generally get together and do marriage in a very little age like 10, 12, and 13. Okay, and in Hindi we can call it bal vivah, if you all are familiar with that term. So we have to take voice against the teen marriage. It should be prohibited, it should be banned. That's why the population explosion can be stopped. Now क्योंकि हम लोग बहुत सारी जगह पे देखे हैं कि अभी भी जो बाल विवाह का जो प्रथा है जनरली वो रनिंग है। अगर बाल विवाह में अगर ये जो भी बच्चे जो छोटे होते हैं, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट हैज फिक्स्ड द एज बिटवीन द गर्ल्स शुड हैव 18 and boys should have 21 years. That's why they both are capable and do a marriage process. If before that if they are doing marriage, it means this is a illegal work. So next, we have to raise voice against the teen marriage, against our society, against our country and our state also. That's why the population explosion could be controlled. Next, incentive couples with a smaller family. Most of the incentive couples are generally living in villages. They are totally unaware about the contraceptive methods, and they are also doing their intercourse with their partners to producing their young ones, and generally one of the couples have 4 to 5 children, which leads to population explosion. So after the initial and beneficial steps taken by the government and different types of NGOs, they have decided to methods of contraceptions. Methods of contraception include generally 6 principles. And what was that? The 6 principle is generally regulating day by day, and improvement of government and NGOs are generally doing for make awareness about the young people and villagers people also. They should know the beneficial and what was the real condition by which we can get, and we should not do to avoid explosion. Okay, so it is a necessary point we have to indicate there. If we will use this type of method, generally our population will be decreased. If we are not doing, it means population will also increase. And I think if the someone generally using this type of method also, so here I want to tell you that methods of contraceptions are generally used by 6 basic principles. एंड द 6 बेसिक प्रिंसिपल इज दैट जो कंट्रासेप्शन का जो प्रिंसिपल होता है वो जनरली 6 पार्ट्स में है, विच इज नेचुरल एंड ट्रेडिशनल, विच मीन्स द कंट्रासेप्शन मीन्स स्टॉपिंग ऑफ चाइल्ड, इट मीन्स गिविंग बर्थ, विच कैन बी प्रोहिबिटेड बाय नेचुरल और ट्रेडिशन। ट्रेडिशनल से या नेचुरल प्रोसेस से हम उसको रोक सकते हैं। सेकंड, द बैरियर मेथड इज आल्सो देयर। बैरियर मींस सपोज वी हर्ड दैट टर्म इन अ मूवीज आल्सो, बैरियर, बैरिकेड लगा देना। सपोज बैरियर मींस स्टॉपेज ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल स्पर्म। मेल और फीमेल स्पर्म को रोकने के लिए कुछ ऐसे सर्टेन इक्विपमेंट्स होते हैं। एग्जांपल, इफ आई एम गिविंग ए कॉपर टी, अगर आप लोगों ने सुना है कॉपर टी के बारे में, जनरली इट इज यूज्ड इन द फीमेल बॉडी टू इंसर्ट इन द यूट्रस कैविटी टू स्टॉप द ट्रांजैक्शन ऑफ male sperm. If male sperm does not meet to ovum, that means the zygote will not occur and fertilization will also not create. So barrier method is also there. Next, intrauterine devices, IUDs. There is, we will also discuss in the next video also what is the intrauterine devices. Intrauterine devices means there is a several types of devices are generally using in India and most of the worlds also. So they are using the devices which is generally insert into the uterine cavity of female. ठीक है, बहुत सारी IUDs devices होती हैं जो कि intrauterine cavity में insert किया जाता है for stopping the fusion of male and female gamete. If they both will not occur, it means fertilization does not take place. Next, oral contraceptives we will also discuss in next video. Injectable and implants. Injectable and implant means several types of injections also there to avoid the pregnancy and avoid the explosion also. And surgical methods is also surgical method is also there. Surgical, we heard about the term vasectomy and tubectomy. Generally vasectomy is a term which is related to male, because in vasectomy generally we cut out the male portion of vasa differentia and tied with that thread. That's why the sperm will not transfer from testis to ovary. Next, if we're talking about the tubectomy means it is related with female body. Tubectomy और vasectomy कई बार एग्जाम्स में पूछे जाते हैं। जो tubectomy टर्म होता है वो जनरली वो it is carried on female body। ठीक है, उसमें क्या होता है जनरली we have to cut down the fallopian tube and tie it with a thread. That's why the female ovum is not released। ठीक है, we will also discuss in a detail in a next video. Now we have to discuss the only today the natural or traditional. Suppose natural and traditional, we will discuss only first part of that principle. So natural or traditional is generally based on 2 principles, and the principle is that periodic abstinence means होता है to stop the fusion of male and female body and male and female sperm also, ठीक है. That's why if male and female sperm do not meet, it means the fusion and fertilization does not take place. इसमें क्या होता है जनरली periodic abstinence का मतलब होता है कि जो मेल और फीमेल स्पर्म होते हैं वो मिल नहीं पाते हैं और नहीं मिलने के कारण that leads to natural or traditional path by avoiding certain types of intercourse also. Okay, next we have to discuss coitus interrupts. Coitus interrupts means if suppose male doing intercourse with female partner, so in case if there is a problem in the during the intercourse, so male generally come out and withdraw. This process is also called withdrawal process, in which males generally withdraw their penis from the female part and generally release their semen in outside the body, and that is called coitus interrupts. If semen is not proceed, it means it will not fuse with the ovum and zygote and fertilization will also not carry. So today we have discussed so many points, and the point is that population explosion, what is that and how it is growing day by day. Second, the four basic principles we have discussed, and next methods to control population explosion, what was the method we have discussed today, and after that certain methods and some certain implements which the government and NGOs are also using, and this is also, and after that only that one is a natural, and all the 5 are generally artificials. Okay, barrier, intrauterine, oral, injection and surgical method, all these are artificial method, and only first one is a natural or traditional. Okay, so apart from this, the remaining topic we will discuss in next class. If you have any problem regarding all this topic, you all have to comment me and ask serious questions. Okay, after that I will also give you the PDF file consisting that type of portions, and most of the questions I will also give regarding that portion only. Okay, thank you student.